What's up, fellas? Gonna be real brief today. I had washed the car a couple weeks back, and I still got water into the cabin, so I took the fender off again, and found there's a little hole up in here, like where some metal overlapped, and the sealant had, I guess, rotted or cracked and came apart. So I had to put some more sealant in there, and then went over everything again with pour 15. And then I noticed when I was trying to line up the hinges and all that, I was like, the hinge pin's a little sloppy. So while I've got this off, one thing leads to another. So I pulled that hinge pin off for the hinge yesterday, replaced the hinge pin. You see it in there. And then started working on this one. So I got it apart. These are the two that came out of it. The pin, obviously, I had to cut into pieces to get it out. But the issue that I found when I did the other one was, like, this is the standard bushing that comes for the Mustang ones. That ain't gonna work. So luckily I had a couple of these oversized ones. And when I put them on the Trooper car, they just pretty much went right in because the door hinges were so worn. But on here, they gotta be coaxed in a little bit. So what I did, use the C-clamp to kind of get it started, like so. And then once I got it started, then I put it in the vise and put a socket over here on this side, so that when it goes through there, let me see if I can do this here. This part goes into the socket, so it can be pushed all the way in. Of course, because when those get pushed all the way in, then the pin won't fit through there. So what I had to do was use this little guy. It's just an arbor from a porting burr. I cut a slot in it, cut the head off, cut a slot in it. Then I use a little strip of sandpaper to run it in there to kind of ream out the bushing a little bit. Also, this probably only applies to the four-door cars. This is a standard pin that comes in the Mustang kits, but the oversized bushing kits come with a longer pin. And even then, because it's got to go through here too, I should point that out. Even then, I had to drill another hole towards the end because that one just wasn't cutting it. It was too close. So two things to keep in mind. I thought when I got it apart and I started trying to put the other stuff in, I thought I was just like kind of screwed, but luckily I had these other pieces, so I was able to make something work. Another instance of there's no such thing as a bolt-on part, and always, I guess, make sure, especially with the four-door stuff, make sure you got the parts handy. So I get that wrapped up. I'm going to take it into work tomorrow to clean off some of this crud on it, the rust. And then the other thing I was working on was doing the body side molding. I put a SEM paint on it when I first did it, like almost 10 years ago, and it held up pretty good. So I just got to finish wrapping that up. And then the last thing is to put in the traction lock and the control arm mounting reinforcements, which I hope to do this weekend. I did spray the hood with SEM also. I was going to started prepping it to paint it with the gloss, but there are so many issues with this hood. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to, I don't know if you can see it on here, but where the old paint, this was done at like an Earl Scheib or Mako or something like that back in the day. So it really needs to be completely stripped and then painted, but I didn't want to go through all that when that's going to be, the whole thing's going to be repainted at some point anyway, I hope. So I just used the rattle can SEM, and it don't look that hot, but that's all right. It'll be I might put another coat on it tomorrow night when I get another can of it, because I used almost a little over 3/4 of a can today. And so that'll be done, and then it's just moving on to finishing that, and like I said, the traction lock, getting rid of that. I think it's an Auburn in there, and then put in just a regular 31 spline traction lock, still keeping the 410s, and then put the control arm reinforcements in. So that's going to be wrapping that up, and I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want to do a video if I ain't got nothing worthwhile to show you, but I figured the hinges would be something maybe somebody could get some use out of, some good information for them. So that's all. Under 6 minutes. Yay. Appreciate y'all. Later.